Okay guys, we're going to talk about producteev, which is a management software tool that hopefully we're going to be using within the company. Now what you can see here is through the various networks we can manage pretty much everything we need to manage. So I'm going to show you guys my training network to give you guys a heads up on how to use the software. If you take a look, you can see that there are the three categories. You can name your network, pick your networks, you can add people, add projects, and add labels. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to just familiarize you a little bit with the software and how to use it. Right here, we are going to take a look at the project, the training project sim, and you can see up here there's active, there's the last date change, everything that you need to keep track of your project. When you check off a project, or a writer checks off a project, you're going to see that it becomes completed, and it will disappear if you are under the active tab. You will not see it. If you need to access it, even though it's completed, you come under the completed tab and you'll see what is complete and what is not. So here we have the project that is completed, but there are still tasks for this particular project that need to be completed. Now all of the projects need to have an assignee to them, so we are going to come over here and we're going to verify that we have everything that we need. These are subtasks. These are things that we put in to make sure that the writer understands what it is they're going to be doing. Here is where we would type any messages or the details to the project for the writer. This way everything is nice and neat and compact. They can go through, they can upload files through the software, you can edit anything that you post. You can pretty much do everything and anything that you need. To upload a file, you click this button here, and it'll upload the file for you. Writers that use Internet Explorer, depending on the version, are having problems uploading. If this ends up being the case for any of your writers, have them use Google Chrome, and that'll correct the problem, as Google Chrome is completely compatible with producteev. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the importance of making sure that your projects are assigned properly. And while we are talking about that, we're going to show you how to do that at the same time. The first thing you're going to want to do is check the date to make sure everything is okay. Check your labels and who's all following it. The followers and the assignees are always the same. You make sure that you assign the people to the task. You can either assign them to the task while you're creating the project. So we're going to put in just a real quick little mock program here, 2 articles at 500 words. It can be open, which means all your writers and everybody on your team can view it, or, considering most of our projects are individual projects, at this time we're going to make this a private project, so only the people that are involved with the project can see it. This way writers don't have to worry about anything being seen by other writers. Here is where you would select who you want to view the project. You just click down through the list of names, or you can start to type their name, and as long as they're in your network, they'll auto join the program. You can at any time go back and you can add people to it. Just click on the info button here, and what will happen is you come down and who has access to the project, you click that, and then you can add them however you would like, whoever you would like. You can have multiple people if you would like, or just the one. It depends on what you are looking to do and what you need to accomplish. Once you've added your people, you close this out and you come back. You can see by adding people, you just put in their email address, type it in. You can add them to a project if you already have the project created. I typically write my projects ahead of time and then I invite them, so that's how I would typically do it. But by doing it that way, you have to make sure that you still are adding the people under the assignee label. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back through here and we're going to write a task for Kim. So let me see here. We'll do Kim. Write 2 times 500 articles. Click enter, or just click on the bar, and there's our task. Now we click that and you can see here where the assignees are. We want to assign whatever writer we're going to be using for this project. That way they get a notification letting them know that you've assigned them a new project, and you will also be able to track it a little bit better. This is when you would go through, you would add your subtasks, set your time and date, you would go through and you would put your project notes down here that they needed to follow, so on and so forth. The subtask categories are check marks, so they will go through and they'll make sure they check them off, and you'll be updated as they do it. Now this is my team currently right now. I do have a little bit of a larger team because I'm a training manager. The people that I'm training are going to be going to various different teams, but this is the training model that I have set for them. We're going to model Joanne at the moment because she is one of the ones that is furthest along. Basically all this tells her to do is to check the project details task, and once she gets there, you'll see the list of things that she's required to do, and those are all of the other trainees that are on the program as well. I'm going to change the date on this because there's no reason for it to be yesterday's date. Obviously I created it the other day, so we'll just put this to the end of the month for now. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. You can also have a notification sent to your writers. You can pick how early to remind them. If you have it checked for all day, they will get a notification at midnight the day it's due saying that it's late, so you may want to keep track of that. The new writers are going to go through, and there is a welcome letter and team guidelines document that are company approved that they must download. That'll familiarize them with the way we do things and what's expected of them. They are going to be trained on how to make a response and how to upload everything that they are going to need to know back into the system. One of the things I'm having them do is to write a short document explaining their strengths and their writing preferences, and any project managers that want to keep tabs on potential writers can join my work desk group and be invited to this project so they can go through and they can track the progress of the writers. One thing I do want to make sure that I mention is that when you are downloading documents, you need to make sure you save them as a file. You can't just click and drag it to your desktop because it'll save it as a Internet Explorer or Google icon, and you'll have to use the internet to view it. Typically it converts it to a Google Doc at that point. I will typically just download the file itself, open it up, view it. It'll open automatically in Word for me, so it should do that for everyone else as well. And then I just save it and put it in whatever folder I'm going to be putting it in, and that will generally make it to where I can further organize what it is I am doing. Like I said, the guidelines and expectations and the welcome letter have all been run through Stephanie, so everything in there is accurate and up to date. The labels, because this is a training thing, I have to actually add a label that I created, and it's a high priority label. It is essential that they learn how to use this software, so I am making sure that they all understand that in order to complete projects or be given projects, they have to understand this system. It is my goal to have this be employed company-wide, because it'll be a uniform system that no matter who you have as a writer or where you're from, everything kind of works smoothly. Plus it gives Stephanie and Joanna the ability to check on what's going on.